So good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here. I'm here today to talk about the UK National Cyber Physical Infrastructure Ecosystem, which does have an acronym, it's NCPI. And not only has it got a really identifiable logo in the bottom right that you'll be seeing over the coming years, but it's also on behalf of His Majesty's government. So working closely with the government to enable the ecosystem of what we're trying to do within NCPI. And as you'll see as well, this is powered by the Catapults, but we're about to get onto that shortly. So first of all, what is cyber physical infrastructure? This is enabling infrastructure that is able to combine the digital and the physical systems, sometimes called cyber physical systems, to create this seamless ecosystem of the interconnected solutions across all sectors. Now, when we have cyber physical systems, they're great, they work, they deliver tremendous value to the areas that we want them to cover and deliver their use case perfectly. But when you're trying to then connect the systems together, they don't speak the same language. There's custom shimming involved. Often there is some idea of what language do you mean, so I can enable that across my cyber physical system. So really it's about bringing that together and going, okay, when we want to connect cyber physical systems together, what is best practice and how are we going to do that moving forward? There are big challenges in this space, and this is what the ecosystem is looking to identify and help move forward. It's about convening what is already happening to accelerate and act as a catalyst to move innovations forward. So this, we're on behalf of NCPI, the National Cyber Physical Infrastructure, and the ecosystem we're building here is a new government and industry collaboration to identify and amplify innovations, as I've been mentioning. This is really to break down the silos and enable, yes, the vertical innovations of sectors need to accelerate forward to identify and break down the challenges they are facing, but it's also about the horizontal innovations that are a lot easier. If sectors have already proven there is value in doing it a certain way and it can be applied to another sector, then why aren't we sharing that best practice to solve the wicked problems that we face today? So it's about being able to be that voice, be that shared vision for how we are building on the innovations happening in the UK, but also enabling benefits worldwide. So this is being funded by the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology, and it's been delivered by the Digital Catapult, the High Value Manufacturing Catapult, which I am part of, and also the Connected Places Catapult, as a Catapult consortium to work closely across all government departments, but closely with DCIT and also all of you as being part of this ecosystem as well of best practice. So the big challenges, these are mentioned and described within the consultation response from DCIT, and I highly recommend going and reading that if one, you forgot to read it last time, but also two, this really identifies the challenges that we're all facing with regards to cyber physical infrastructure. So go refresh your memories. But the first one is around security and resilience. This is about the ability to not only withstand attacks, but also failures. And by failures, it's about looking at if an application fails or a database falls over, it's not very resilient. As much as a supply chain that is not able to deliver what you need, which is holding up your business, that's not a resilient supply chain. So it's about looking at these areas of where are the risks and how can we enable better, secure and resilient infrastructure. There is as well interoperability. So the bit that people often jump to is around different systems being able to exchange information easily, but it's also about communication. So how can we enable the communication better between systems, but better between people as well? So when you see name on a piece of spreadsheet, what does name actually mean? There's also then as well the third challenge around recognizing value propositions. So it's about communication of knowledge, but it's also about communication of best practice. So how are you able to deliver your cyber physical system so it's part of this wider infrastructure and this ecosystem that the UK needs? There's also as well frameworks and guidance and standards. So how are we having best practice captured in a way that there is enough traction that actually this is best practice? So it's building on the common language from interoperability, but it's saying actually this is a really good approach, really good understanding of how we move forward into deployment from the technical requirements for cyber physical systems as well as the infrastructure. And finally, there is skills. So areas of development of the technical and non-technical areas, looking at delivering the capability. And within that as well, it's the competence needed. So not only do you need the skilled individuals that are technically excellent in their areas, but how do we enable the competence across everyone to be digitally literate with what we are doing? So the vision and why we're trying to bring this together is to facilitate and enable an impartial, mission-focused and multidisciplinary approach to innovation for connected cyber-physical systems. And yes, as part of that is digital twins and hence being on this call today. But it's also about all the other things that are going on for 5G, 6G, metaverse, all of the other initiatives that are trying to drive towards a collective same thing. So what are the building blocks needed to enable these ecosystems? So over the course and sort of the next 18 months, yes, there is an event I'm about to announce on the next slide, but also look forward to the events that are going to be running over those 18 months. So there's going to be workshops happening next year, and there's also going to be a bigger event towards the end as well. So keep your eyes peeled. There is already an article on the DT Hub as well, so go take a read and there'll be a lot more information there about what the ecosystem is trying to achieve. But the bigger announcement today is that the first Cyber Physical Future Forum is happening in a couple of weeks' time, and this is here to enable the national cyber physical infrastructure. For open to the public is an online webinar happening on the 16th from 10:30 till 2:30. You will see the event advertised from 10 o'clock, but that is just for the people who will be in the room to be able to get drinks and network a little bit. But the actual live presentations will start from 10:30. And the brief agenda of the day so far is a UK government address, followed by an introduction and a lot more detail around NCPI, with panel discussions. And then after lunch, there will start a series of workshops, which will be both for in-person attendance, as well as those online. There will be an online section for how to get your ideas. This is about how we enable the agenda going forward to build on what's already been proven so we can accelerate the adoption of this innovation area. The link is below, and I believe it will be put in chat shortly. Thank you for listening, and happy to take questions at the end of this session as normal.
So Jonathan, our next question for you, please, is glad to hear about this initiative. What measures are you putting in place to prevent this becoming another great initiative that happens in parallel to things like the National Digital Twin Programme? And also, as a second part of the question, how exactly do we engage with the initiative?
Great question. So the first thing in place is that we are adhering to the Gemini principles, which is key there for being open as one of them, but also the other 8 areas to make sure that we are fully open. If you have any doubts or if you have any concerns about how best to move forward, then please get in touch. As 3 Catapults, we are here to be the leverage between academia and also industry, and also here to support policy with government. So we are here to be that universal voice, an agnostic voice, more importantly, of how we get it right. So I am also linked in with Alex Luck and Fergus Herodens of the National Digital Twin Programme as well. And there's also slight tangent, but they've also just done a Gov.uk website on the National Digital Twin Programme, which has 3 great case studies. So there's also a lot more coming out about the National Digital Twin Programme.
So our next question, Jonathan, is for yourself, is NCPI is government supported. Will funding become available to research in the big challenges you covered?
Yeah, so the message going forward is there is lots of funding already available for things like AI and different things. This innovation is to advocate for where there is a lack of funding. So there is no funding available directly through this programme. What we are here to say is work with us, highlight the areas where we still have lacks of funding, and we'll convene that message back to government to help drive policy to drive further investment into this space.
Very good. Thank you, Jonathan. Another one for yourself is how will the community be updated on the progress of the NCPI program?
Great question again. So we had a evening meal with a lot of the industrial stakeholders involved in the DT Hub. So strategic board, advisory board, community council, and actually the outcome of that was very much the Digital Twin Hub wants to actively engage with NCPI. So there will be continuing announcements on the DT Hub. As well, there will be a LinkedIn page and some other areas being set up shortly where you'll be able to follow and subscribe for further updates.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And our final question, I think, is to both of you, and then we're going to close after this, is you both presented government-funded projects with strong data sharing interoperability themes. Where do you see the overlaps or distinctions between your approaches? So 30 seconds if I could from both of you, and then we'll bring it to a close. Jonathan, maybe start.
Yeah, so there's lots of things happening in data sharing, and it's not about being able to centralize it for me. It's about how we work with the distributed mechanisms of language, and we all need our own ontologies and data sharing frameworks, and it's about how we can best work together. So there will be overlaps, there will be distinctions. I mean, it's a case of we do need a mechanism where we can advocate for our own language to support our own use cases. And that, for myself personally, not on behalf of NCPI, but personally, I think we're still missing.